What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Minecraft video. Last time I showed you 14 ways to defend your base in Minecraft. So this time I will be showing you 6 ways to attack an enemy base. Now this is going to include very simple and complex creations, ranging from normal things you could get in Minecraft to some redstone contraptions, which I think you guys will enjoy. Either way, this is the house right in front of us. As you guys can see, it is quite small, and it also looks good in my opinion. As well as on the inside, we have everything we would need, from a crafting table to a furnace, a bed, a chest, as well as an anvil, and yeah, it's pretty neat. Now we're basically just going to be attacking this house and seeing if we could destroy it in the process. Now the first thing we're going to use to attack our base is going to be this lava slime block arrow machine. So it's kind of a mouthful, but it basically fires an arrow through lava, sets it on fire, and then bounces it off our slime block over this wall, and then it falls onto our base. So this is quite good for attacking bases with huge walls, and this is actually 8 blocks high, and if you build multiple machines, you can rain down arrows from above, and it's going to be absolutely terrifying since they're all going to be flaming. So let's go ahead and test this out. We would basically flick this lever right over here. As you guys can see, it's going to shoot an arrow across to the other side of the wall. Obviously it missed our house, that's why I have multiple machines, just to show you guys that. But it's really good because it goes above the wall, and unlike regular dispensers that just shoot it, it's not gonna fall down onto the ground right in front of the machine. Alright, so that's basically just going to be the contraption. We could like spam this if you want to shoot multiple arrows, but we could just spam the entire system if you want to make something cool. So if I go ahead and flick this lever right over here, it's going to fire a bunch of arrows that will eventually land on our house. Since the arrows are flaming, if it lands on a wooden house, it will set it ablaze, or set anything else on a blaze that is flammable. Of course, it will kind of terrify your enemies and kind of distract them if you're going to attack the base. So now what I did was attach this entire system up to a rapid fire switch, and this switch is basically going to just fire arrows endlessly. So let's go ahead and flick it. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and flick that lever. As you guys can see, it's going to start firing arrows that are literally on fire onto our house. It's going to rain death from above and go over that wall. I mean, just take a look at that. This wall is completely useless to this system because it's just bouncing the arrows off the slime blocks, and just after a couple seconds, our house is totally covered in flaming arrows, and even the tree back there is getting hit. And I mean, oh my gosh, this is definitely terrifying. I mean, just imagine standing here and seeing those arrows come over the wall. You would think there's at least like 50 people shooting them. Oh my goodness. Alright, so if I switch into game mode survival here and I get hit with an arrow, obviously I get set on fire, and if you're spamming like multiple machines across the map, this will do a lot of damage. So yeah, that is basically our first way to attack a base, by using tons and tons of these machines. I will leave a download link for these maps in the description for you guys to mess around with, but that is basically the first method of attacking a house. Now let's go ahead and just turn this off really quick, and if you guys do notice, we have just loads and loads of arrows in there still left, and it will go on for a very long time unless someone comes out and destroys it. But either way, that is our house after about a minute of just, you know, arrows raining down from the heavens, and it looks like there's a lot of damage to it. I mean, obviously the house is still standing, but if you know, someone else was in the vicinity of these arrows, they would totally be dead. Okay, so yeah, that is the first method. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. So we're back with the same house right in front of us. Now, if you guys are wondering, hey, that wasn't really an effective method of destroying the base using arrows, well, this time we have TNT cannons. Now, obviously, I placed a obsidian wall in between the house and the TNT cannons, but they will still do a lot of damage. So what I want to do is basically like flick this, and then it will shoot out TNT towards our house. So let's just go ahead and do that. As you guys can see, it's going to basically launch TNTs over the wall continuously. It's an endless endless system. It's going to do a lot of damage and, you know, scare the person to death. So obviously it's missing the house, but let's go ahead and flick the one on this side and activate this TNT cannon, which is basically firing automatically right now. I mean, just take a look at that. It's going over an 8-block tall wall. I mean, walls are completely useless to these two contraptions that I just showed you guys, the arrow system and the TNT system, and right now it is just digging a hole down to bedrock. Okay, so obviously this is very powerful, but it's not effective unless you aim properly at your house. So let's go ahead and flick that lever and shoot the TNT towards our house, and it's going to explode and completely destroy it. Take a look at that, guys. Multiple TNT is completely destroying this entire building, and now that base is done for. Walls don't stand a chance. Everything on the inside will just be decimated at this point. So yeah, it's going to go on for quite some time, and much like the arrow machine, it can store a lot of TNT. I mean, it's going to be expensive, but it's going to do a lot of damage. So yeah, that's basically that, guys. And if you do notice, the TNT machines are quite simple to make. You just need 2 slime blocks, a dispenser, some pistons, and a little bit of redstone to create this very deadly machine. I mean, this thing is just crazy. Right, so this machine ran out of TNT since there's only 1 stack in there, and this one I believe is close to running out as well. And the first one ran out, so let's go ahead and turn that off. And we can turn this one off too. So there you go, guys. That is basically the second method of attacking a base. It's really high tech, and it's going to get the job done because, I mean, it is just a brilliant idea. I mean, just shooting or bouncing TNT off of slime blocks to get over a wall is really cool. So yeah, that's the second method. Let's go ahead and take a look at the third one. Alright, so this next method is pretty straightforward. Of course, if you come across any wall that's surrounding your enemy base, whether it be a simple dirt wall or a very strong obsidian wall, the easiest way to get over it is using ender pearls. So if I go ahead and just chuck up an ender pearl into the air, it should land inside the base. Once that happens, I could basically begin fighting any enemies that are in here. And also what I want to do is take some lava buckets with me. That way I can put them down and cause maximum amounts of damage. If you could get into the base, the actual house itself, that would be really good, because you could just open up the door and obviously place down a lava bucket there, and it will start, you know, destroying the interior. Now, fortunately, I placed down some lava there and I set myself on fire. That's because I'm a huge noob, but you guys get the idea. This is one of the easiest and most common ways you can attack an enemy base, and when you place a lava in here, it's obviously just going to burn up pretty much everything. So you're pretty much griefing here, but if you also bring a pickaxe, you could do some additional damage. But that's one simple way of attacking your enemy base. But let me go ahead and show you guys another way of doing this. Now, say for instance your enemy is quite patient and they manage to create a very massive obsidian wall. I mean, take a look at this. This is more than double the size of the previous wall. There's no way you can ender pearl over this. It's really not an option. So what do you do to destroy that house? You would obviously tunnel underneath. So let's go ahead and switch into our game mode spectator, and then basically take a look at what I did. What I did was dug a tunnel directly under the base, and then I planted a huge TNT bomb that's going to explode the map. So just take a look at this. This thing is crazy. There's over 100 TNT at this position. Obviously, you don't need this much TNT, but I was just having some fun, and it looks really, really cool. So normally, you would just create a small tunnel, and then you would just place a couple TNT over here just to destroy the bottom of the map. But we're going to just destroy everything on the inside of those obsidian walls. So let's go ahead and do this by switching into game mode creative and then lighting this TNT right over here. It's going to start a chain reaction. Let's quickly switch back our game mode and just see this entire thing explode. As you guys can see, it's going to just lag my game and completely blow up the base of our house. It is super laggy right now as the TNT is being triggered, and I just know already this is going to do tons and tons of damage. Maybe it might not even leave a floor to the base. Oh my gosh! There's a lot of TNT going off at once right now. It's currently at 1 frames per second. It's pausing, it's exploding like 100 at a time or something like that, and then exploding more and more and more, pausing and doing it all over again. So we're gonna wait until this loads out and see the aftermath. So check this out, guys. Oh my goodness. So this obsidian wall did not protect the space at all. We had a huge blast radius over here, completely destroying everything below the wall, and a lot of spaces bases right beside it. Obviously, I used a lot of TNT over here, but you guys get the idea. You can do a lot of sneaky damage using this method of tunneling under and planting a bomb. Now, it looks like this is a ravine. It wasn't created by the actual explosion, but it still looks pretty cool. And our tunnel, I believe, is right over here. So even the tunnel is completely gone. All right, so that is another way of, you know, completely destroying your enemy's base if they're not smart enough to place obsidian at the bottom. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at another method. Okay, so I had to switch worlds to show you guys this next creation, which is going to be a TNT missile that uses slime blocks to basically launch a missile towards a house and then detonate it. This is going to be really cool. There's two different designs that you guys can play around with, and I will be showing you that in just a second. But also this map, which you can find in the description box down below, also includes the TNT Cannon, which is right over there, and flaming arrow dispenser, which basically launches, you know, stuff all the way to that side of the map. So yeah, you have everything in this one download file, so hopefully you guys enjoy that. But anyways, this is going to be our TNT missile. We're going to launch this one. As you guys can see, when we flick that lever, it's just going to send that missile towards the house, and once it stops, it will activate the TNT, which is actually pretty cool. And what I also did is, since I have World Edit, I copied the missile and I could just paste it, and that way I could create multiple missiles at once. So what I'm going to do is let that missile go towards the house, that way we can see it explode, since that one totally missed. Okay, so we're gonna basically wait until this missile hits the house and see the damage that it could actually do. And once it does that, you guys will get a good idea of how this method would work. Obviously, this is quite slow. This is more like a role-playing way of attacking your enemy's base. But as you guys can see, once it reaches, it sort of activates the TNT and then destroys the entire missile and does a lot of damage, since there's about 10 TNT in that one missile. Now, since I copied it, like I mentioned, I could go ahead and just paste it. And if you do have our world edits, you could definitely have a lot of fun with this. So as you can see, I'm pasting it and it automatically just takes off and shoots missiles towards the base. So yeah, that's really cool, and that's really just one way of just having some fun and attacking your enemy's base, or just your friend's base if you guys just want to mess around in Minecraft. Alright, so this final method of attacking your enemy base can be built super quickly. It basically uses a rapid signal going towards several dispensers that eject fire charges. And if you guys don't know, fire charges basically are flaming balls of fire that are going to set anything on fire. Okay, so as you guys can see, I do have a treehouse base that's located in a jungle. Obviously, this is the most vulnerable a base could possibly be, and yeah, it's just going to be set on fire using the system. It still works well against other types of bases as a distraction and just to do some minor damage to your enemies, but I think it works best if your enemy has a treehouse base. Obviously, it doesn't have to be a super fortified base for you to attack it. You could just be a griefer and do some damage to it and completely destroy it. But either way, we have our rapid signal right over here. You guys could, you know, build a couple of them that you could find on YouTube, but this is the simplest one, and also I think the fastest. But either way, let's go ahead and flick this lever and activate that system. As you guys can see, it's going to start rapidly shooting fire charges towards our base and completely set it on fire. Since fire charges have like no falling effect with gravity, it's just going to endlessly rip through this with fire. And I mean, oh my gosh, would you look at this, guys? Can you imagine seeing this coming towards you? I would be running far away from my home. I would just abandon everything and take all of my diamonds with me. So as you guys can see, yeah, everything is being set on fire. It's like burning through the walls and going to the second level. And as we travel up, you can see that fire charges are flying through here, and there's a random zombie just like escaping. He's like, run! There's fire charges coming, run away! He's like going to warn his friends and stuff. The pool is on fire, and yeah, pretty much everything else is, and it's still going since the dispensers are full. And I mean, that is just crazy. So we're gonna come back over here and just quickly turn this off and take a look at the damage, and whoa, oh my gosh, as you guys can see, that is just devastating. Definitely one of the craziest ways to attack your friends or enemies' bases. Anyways, guys, that is pretty much going to wrap up today's video. If you did enjoy it, please take 1 second to smack the like button if you want to see more. If you do want to watch other videos I have uploaded before, you can click on them on your screen right now. As well as don't forget to leave a comment and tell me which was your favorite method or a method that I left out.